Who is the biggest star in boxing? Tank Davis. And joining the beach of the game is Miami resident hip-hop star, influencer Ruby Rose.
Understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo.
The face-off between Jake Paul and Gervonta at Tank Davis on Netflix UNCUT quickly turned into a heated spectacle that grabbed everyone's attention. The tension in the room was unmistakable when Tank suddenly shoved Jake during the stare down, proving this clash carries more emotion than just promotional hype. Both fighters exchanged sharp words right after, their faces showing a mix of confidence and irritation. Fans immediately noticed the clear size contrast between them, with many surprised by how small Tank appeared next to Jake. Still, plenty of others argued that height and weight don't win fights. Timing, skill, and ring IQ do. In the end,
at the end of the day, I gave this little guy an opportunity. He should be thanking me. I'm paying him. I'm his boss. He reports to me, and I'm gonna fucking son him on November 14th. So fuck you, little man.
You pay me? Are you paying me?
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Facts.
Correct.
Yes. Correct.
Correct. I'm your daddy.
Teddy Atlas, the veteran boxing coach and respected analyst, broke down the intense face-off between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis with his usual sharp perspective. His first observation was the massive size difference between the two. According to Atlas, the contrast wasn't just obvious, it was extreme. He joked that Davis would practically need a ladder to land a clean shot on Jake's chin. Atlas emphasized that while boxing is built on timing, precision, and heart, physical dimensions can't be ignored when they're this far apart. He compared it to when Canelo Alvarez moved up in weight to face Terrence Crawford, pointing out that even then, the fighters still looked naturally matched. But in this scenario, Atlas felt the gap was simply too wide to call an even fight. He admitted that Tank's power and experience make him dangerous in any ring, but against someone with Jake Paul's height and natural strength, Atlas warned the matchup already looked stacked against Davis before a single punch was thrown.
Things, right? They should also have like the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particulars should be in the contract. But I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. The size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but a little different. The size difference was, it was eye-catching, jaw-dropping. And it made me think, and I'm going to ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm going to ask him, because I know he's an expert in this area. But it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there. And I thought I had it right, and it was confirmed to me. It's Rocky III.
Greg Hackett, a well-known boxing trainer and respected voice in the sport, recently opened up about Gervonta Davis's mindset ahead of a showdown. Hackett expressed complete faith in Tank's focus and discipline. In his words, Davis doesn't get caught up in the outside noise or the media buzz created by Jake Paul's camp. Hackett explained that Tank is crystal clear about his goals. He knows exactly what he's after and how to achieve it. Sources close to Davis's camp say his training sessions have been intense and laser-focused, with no hint of complacency. Sparring partners have described him as fierce, precise, and driven, pushing himself harder than ever before to make a statement.
It's something for you new to do, try to keep you fresh and this and that, keep your name hot. You got to stay in the algorithms. You know, it's just a lot of pressure on fighters. And I feel like Tank being at, what is he, 30 years old? And you got kids. See, what people forget about is it come a time in a man's life where he just wants to slow down. You know what I'm saying? We can't all run around like we used to back in the day. I mean, that's tough to do. Sometimes you just want to sit down, enjoy your fruits. And I feel like that could be what he going through. He want to just enjoy the fruits of his labor and enjoy life. And people don't want to hear that because they feel like you got more work to do. But it's his life.
Spectators who've seen Tank Davis at recent media appearances all point to one thing: his calm and collected demeanor. He appears locked in, yet completely in control, clearly aware of what's at stake. For Tank, this fight is about much more than money or fame. It's a statement of legacy, proof that he can shine on any platform, under any spotlight, and still perform like the world-class fighter he is. A victory here wouldn't just boost his record. It could push his name further into mainstream fame, earning him the same kind of attention influencers and YouTubers command, while reminding everyone that true skill still outshines the show.
In the press conference, and you can just look at him and tell, like, no, this dude he's going to get this money for sure, because there's so much money out there to be had. But Jake Paul better be not playing around, man. Not get cute, not play any games. Don't hit him in the back of the head. Don't rabbit punch him. Don't do any of that stuff, man, because Mike Tyson, first of all, a lot of people think Mike Tyson was pulling punches on Jake Paul, and a lot of people think that Anderson Silva was pulling punches on him too. You're not going to have a little Gervonta out there pulling punches on you, man, if you're out there playing games. So, I don't like the fight at all. However, as far as it being an entertaining situation, I almost guarantee you that fight itself is going to be entertaining. That it's going to be something that you look at and you're going to say, man, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to want to know what happens in it. But at the same time, it's kind of like what people think, when you see a car crash, like you're driving down the road and all of a sudden the traffic gets heavy and you're like, man, I'm going to be in traffic for a long time. And then you drive forward a little bit and then you see, oh man, this is some accident on the other side of the road and everybody just slowing down to watch. That's the type of entertainment that you can expect from this fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul.
Former heavyweight contender turned coach Eddie Chambers shared a more measured take on the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis showdown. He reminded fans that boxing's history is full of smaller fighters toppling bigger opponents. According to Chambers, those who focus only on size are missing the bigger picture. The fight's true difference makers are timing, ring IQ, and discipline. He pointed to classic examples where technical skill and patience allowed smaller fighters to neutralize opponents who had every physical advantage. In this matchup, Chambers believes Jake's height and reach might serve him early on, but Tank's explosive movement and tactical sharpness could erase that gap fast. As he put it, fights aren't decided by tape measurements. They're decided by performance under pressure. And while Jake's size is an edge, Davis's precision and natural instinct could easily make him a more dangerous man once the bell rings.
That something like this can happen, but this is social media. This is what is created. There's a lane that Jake Paul has created. Honestly, I'm not mad at him for it. He's gotten a lot of fighters and, actual fighters some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing and what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from him. And it ain't going to be easy to hit him. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out. So there's nothing that Jake Paul can do aside from make it extremely ugly by grabbing him and probably trying to throw him to the ground. I don't know what else, bite him. I don't know, but I mean, the skill level alone. Now, of course, there is a size difference, a height difference and all that, but he's just going to struggle so much landing a shot. It's just going to look bad. To me, this is the way I see it. It's going to look bad. Tank is going to be too fast. And the punch I believe, I'm not saying it's going to knock him out or, but he's going to feel it.
Timothy Bradley, former world champion turned boxing analyst, didn't hold back his thoughts, calling the potential fight easy money for Gervonta Davis. Bradley's confidence lies in the clear difference between their levels of experience. He explained that Davis has spent his entire career battling elite, dangerous opponents who understand the intensity and strategy of top-tier boxing. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's resume still consists of only a handful of professionals, many being retired fighters or crossover names from other sports. Bradley did give Jake credit for his discipline and for keeping boxing in the spotlight, but he emphasized that facing Tank Davis is an entirely different reality. According to him, Tank's timing, composure, and fight IQ make him far more complete as a boxer. In Bradley's view, this matchup will expose the gap between lifelong fighters and those who enter the sport later. He believes that once the punches start landing, Tank's experience will overshadow Jake's size advantage, leaving no doubt about who the true professional is.
Yeah, you prove your innocence and say that it ain't fixed. Because check this out. Tank ain't gonna lose this fight. Hell no. Hell no. Tank ain't losing this fight. Too many hoes. Man, Jake don't have enough experience. Yeah, man, this gonna be taking candy from a baby. Jake is missing the rules. See, this what happened when you don't grow up in the game. When you don't grow up in the game, man, at a young age, this is what happens. You start reading your own press clippings. That's what Jake is doing. Fighting this lower level competition. And now he think he them ish. Now he think he the man. He ain't the man. You kidding me? He is not the man. Oh no. Yeah. False sense of security. Now he trying to pick on small folks, right? And I don't mean that in a bad way. Yeah, I'm just saying size-wise. Yeah, that's another thing, boxing one-on-one. You can't pay attention to size. Hell no, I told y'all it's the size of the heart, right? In that damn dog. It ain't the size of the damn dog, and I told y'all that, man. Yeah, it's the same thing here. And it's about the smartest dog. Tank too smart for him. Tank got too much boxing IQ for Jake, man. This gonna be easy. Easy. Like I said, man, Tank, please. Please, man. Don't do this to boxing, bro. If there's anything, man, man, we can put together some kind of account for you, a GoFundMe account or whatever, bro. And we can, all your fans can give you $1, bro. So that way you don't be, blowing this fight. It's easy, bro. This sparring section. Look, I'm so confused. I don't know what the hell to call this. The circus? Just call it a circus. Yeah, just call it a damn circus. Because, 1 minute they said, oh, this is the fight.
Paulie Malignaggi, former world champion and respected boxing commentator, didn't hold back when discussing Gervonta Tank Davis. According to Paulie, Tank's career has been carefully managed and overly protected, suggesting that he hasn't faced the kind of elite, dangerous opponents that define true greatness. Malignaggi argued that Davis's image has been built around knockout highlights and smart matchmaking, rather than consistent challenges against the best in his weight class. His remarks echo a long-standing debate in boxing, whether Tank has truly tested himself against top-level competition, or if his career has been strategically designed to preserve his record. While fans often defend Davis's speed, power, and precision, critics like Malignaggi insist that legends are made by taking real risks, not by staying safe. Still, despite the skepticism, Tank remains one of boxing's biggest attractions, capable of drawing massive crowds every time he steps into the ring.
He's trying to clown people, but then he admits that Tank is the biggest name in Western boxing. So doesn't even make sense. Listen again.
Boxing, either the fans have gone down to the dumbest level possible, or the media themselves have gone down to the dumbest level possible for
See, so he's already trying to roast the fans and anybody who says Tank's the face of boxing, basically calling people dumb, right? Oldest trick in the book. But then he says, I understand that Tank is probably the biggest name in the West.
Naming this guy as the face of boxing. I understand we don't have anything. The fact that
I understand we don't have anything. Keep listening.
Maybe this is the biggest marquee name in the West at the moment.
Right. Maybe this is the biggest marquee name at the moment in the West. he is the biggest name in the West. Name somebody bigger, right? Point blank, period. So you're off to a bad start. Name calling, then you're acting like you don't understand it whilst mentioning he's the biggest name in boxing, and you're saying it's disturbing. Why is it disturbing?
It's certainly disturbing, but it also shows you that you can make anything into a star at this point.
Recent rumors suggest that Gervonta Davis could be eyeing retirement following this blockbuster matchup. According to insiders from his camp, Tank's priorities have started to shift. He's now more focused on long-term financial security than adding more belts to his collection. The upcoming fight with Jake Paul is expected to deliver one of the biggest paydays of his entire career, and that kind of money might allow him to walk away from boxing comfortably and on his own terms. Many see this move as a calculated and mature decision, not one driven by emotion. Davis has already captured world titles and built a massive following, so there's little left for him to prove. However, fans remain split. Some believe he's truly ready to step away, while others think the retirement talk might just be part of the promotional build-up to make the fight even bigger.
Go band for band on what you making. Again, there's nothing wrong with Tank going to get his money, but let's all be clear that that's all the fight is for Tank. He's telling you without telling you that he's fighting Jake just because he's getting $40 million. So when we talk about boxing being dead, Tank has to line up at the front of the line. I can't blame him, but don't throw around, oh, boxing's dead and people switch sides and all of that. You chose not to be great. That's it. You chose not to be great. Stuff like that, choices like that will kill boxing, for sure. On a competitive level, it won't kill it on a business level. On a business level, until people run out of interest in these kind of matchups, it'll do well. On a competitive level, choosing not to fight the best will kill the sport. So maybe it's better if people like Tank aren't in the sport. And I don't even say that because I want that to be the case. I think Tank is ridiculously talented, but you can't want a fighter to fight more than what they want to. You can't. Tank fans or Tank people that like Tank and think he's one of the best, you can't want it for him. And then Shakur came back with, that's how I know you soft. I can't even go back and forth with you soft ass. You rather pop to me on social media than get in that fire and get embarrassed. I get it. Peace and blessings upon you, cuz. He says, the people got your chest out so bad. You talking like you a killer, forgetting that you the one that runs, bitch. I'll be bring the fight to you. This dude, a made-up character. Quote, blessings upon you. Clown-ass dude, wanna be Kevin Gates? Oh my goodness. I mean, here's the thing though. You can't say that stuff about Shakur if you're not willing to fight him. This is the point I think that we're going to come to today, is that Tank can say all this stuff he wants, but if you're not willing to fight Shakur, then none of it means anything anymore. Even if you believe that Tank is going to knock him out, even if you believe that Shakur's a runner, or that he's not in the trenches, or he's not a boxer that's willing to bring the fight, or whatever, none of it matters. You're talking from the sideline because you won't fight him. What does that say about Tank?
Showbiz the Adult, a well-known boxing analyst and YouTube commentator, offered a more balanced take on Jake Paul's career. He acknowledged both the positive impact and the shortcomings of Jake's rise in boxing. According to Showbiz, Jake deserves credit for rekindling excitement within the sport, particularly among younger viewers and casual fans who had long stopped watching traditional boxing. By leveraging his huge social media following, Jake has turned boxing events into global spectacles, drawing in millions who might never have tuned in otherwise. Still, Showbiz didn't ignore the controversy. He noted that many within the boxing community questioned Jake's level of competition, arguing that most of his opponents have been carefully selected and often undersized or past their prime, a strategy that keeps his momentum going, but leaves doubts about how he'd fare against evenly matched fighters.
Boxing is going to sing his praises like a hero. Though Jake Paul is definitely appreciated by the boxing world when it comes to what he is giving to the sport, especially women's boxing. Okay, I mean, it goes without saying that Jake Paul, an MVP, has added to the sport of boxing. But Jake Paul, the fighter, people are over his shit. There's a huge amount of boxing pugilists in the boxing community who's over his shit. And if Gervonta Tank Davis stops that, if he is the one who stops this whole train, knocking out Jake Paul, he will become a boxing hero. People will then say, now get the hell out the sport. And I'm talking about from a fighter's perspective. That's what they're going to say. Now, it's not going to go on either one of their official records because it's an exhibition. But it doesn't matter because optically, visually, seeing that go viral, and I mean go viral, and Jake Paul will never hear the end of it.
We're gonna have to help you up. We're gonna have to help you up. We're gonna see about it. Help you up. We're gonna.
Because Gervonta Tank Davis is not only a real boxer, he's a real boy. He's 5'5". He's a lightweight. Skills pay the bills. Let him knock out Jake Paul, give him Bambi legs, or knock him down. Gervonta Tank Davis, that moment will go viral, and he will be a far bigger, well-known boxer than he is today, and he will also be a hero. And that's the Black Two Sugars.
Daniel Cormier, the former UFC champion and well-respected sports analyst, didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis showdown. He called the fight more of a business move than a true athletic contest, suggesting that the matchup was built for attention rather than competition. Cormier questioned the reason behind it, noting that Tank isn't fighting out of financial need, which makes the bout feel unnecessary from a sporting perspective. He described the matchup as predictable and uninspiring, not because the fighters lack talent, but because the result seems obvious. In his view, the fight's main purpose is to drive social media buzz and public curiosity, rather than elevate the sport of boxing. Cormier's take echoes the frustration of traditional fans who believe the line between sport and entertainment has become increasingly blurred, where hype, fame, and money often overshadow skill, legacy, and real competition.
Wait, I thought it was 190. Dean, that's bad. Because you know what that tells me? That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him.
Yes.
He recognizes that he's too big for him.
I'm wondering how this even came about. It can't be that Gervonta Davis needs money. That can't be the reason why
he's been a world
taking this
champion
fight.
so recently. How could he be broke?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he doing this for money? And then why? And how is even Jake Paul doing this when no one respects it? Like, I can't think of anybody that respects this.
But Jake Paul has been able to carve out and make his own lane in boxing, and I've never seen anything like it, bro. He literally, I mean, we don't know what weight class he fights in any situation. We just don't know. He kind of makes his own rules.
He makes his own rules.
And it seems like people are playing by those rules. I remember a couple weeks ago, the WBC and the Jose Suleiman was very upset that he wasn't going to be able to put the belt on the winner at Canelo versus Crawford. That's the thing that's happened since the beginning of the time. Those guys are very powerful in boxing, but with Zuffa boxing, it was almost like that power was getting stripped away. They were very disappointed. But how can you take those sanctioning organizations seriously when they are sanctioning this?
That's my point. That's my point. That's why I think that this whole thing that we have, this boxing and this MMA argument and Zuffa getting into boxing, our argument is misplaced because things like this should not be happening. And the fact that boxing is allowing this to happen is an embarrassment to the sport.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I talked about this before. Like, I didn't know why they were fighting because, I mean, Gervonta Davis's last fight was at 136 pounds.
Who believe the line between sport and entertainment has become increasingly blurred, where hype, fame, and money often overshadow skill, legacy, and real competition. Interview 11. That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll catch you in the next one.